The White House believes that the nuclear deal is bad. Barack Obama knew it was bad but did it anyway and lied to the American people about it. Trump has been saying for years that the Iran deal is a disaster, and President Trump is right. Now, as I say, none of this means the United States has to go to war. And the United States can do a lot of things short of going to war. We can reimpose sanctions. We can help facilitate the use of Saudi airspace by the Israelis. We can ensure that Israel is defended in case of retaliatory strike. But that doesn't mean that we have to go to active war with the Iranians. We can support revolutionary movements within Iran in a stronger possible fashion if we have the sanctions reinforced. It's very difficult to support people trying to topple a regime when you have a deal with the regime. That's why I've always found the Obama line that it was either his deal or war to be so foolish and such a lie. He's not the only one saying it, of course. Pat Buchanan, who really despises Israel, he's been saying the same thing. Here's Buchanan making that case.
So you didn't watch Bibi Netanyahu's evidence and believe it today, because I believed every word of it. I believe that
Bibi Netanyahu, with due respect, wants the United States to fight a war against Iran when Israel...
Nobody's talking about fighting a war.
I don't want my country getting into another war.
I don't want another war either.
Okay, again, this is a lie. When you have people like Pat Buchanan saying that everything is inevitably going to lead to war, that's nonsense. It is worth noting, by the way, that Israel was very tepid about the Iraq war in the first place. For all the people who keep saying that Israel was the cause of the Iraq war, go back and look at the evidence. The Israeli government was really not stumping for the Iraq war. They were very, very torn about whether the United States should go to war in Iraq in the first place. That was a George W. Bush initiative. I think it was the right initiative at the time based on the evidence that he had in front of him. But, yeah, again, this sort of Pat Buchananite, this is a war on behalf of the Jews routine. I don't think that's right, especially because as Iranian influence goes in the region, that threatens a lot of American interests aside from Israel, including Saudi Arabia, including the fate of Europe, including American troops that are stationed around the world. Iran developing this sort of technology is extraordinarily dangerous, especially considering that Iran has such close relationships with a bunch of terror groups. You talk about Iran as the greatest state terror sponsor on planet Earth. That is obviously the case.